Hey, this is Lynn. It is Weigh In Monday. Today is November 13th, 2023. I just completed week 24 of the carnivore diet, and I had a great week. I'm here to go over the results with you. Um, for those of you who follow my rosacea, this thing on my forehead, that's actually not rosacea. It's also not a zit. It was something was maybe a little. I get a little bit of seborrheic dermatitis, but I was scratching it too much, so it kind of got irritated. But so just ignore this. And this is my rosacea, the rest of it. And so I feel like it's doing really well. Um, and I know last week I had a little bit of weight gain, and I've got a lot of great comments on some things that I can do. Like if I hit a stall, I didn't consider it a stall last week because it was only 1 week of weight gain. And, after factoring in the fat, the fat-free body weight, I had actually gained a little more fat because I had actually lost some of that good tissue. So it was 1 week off. But I did determine to make some changes, and that was to maybe listen to my hunger a little bit better. And because I had been previously like I needed to eat more meals because I was only doing 1 meal a day plus a snack. And that's increasing my intake actually served me well for a while. But I decided to go ahead and just pay closer attention to my actual hunger signals. And I found that I did end up eating less this week. I didn't do like 3 meals. I kind of went back to either 2 meals or 1 meal and a snack. I want to be careful I eat enough because I don't want to, there's kind of like this fine line between the fasting and the eating. And I don't want to fast too much, and because my body tends to want to really slow down. So I'm still learning about all this and trying to figure out the fasting and the eating and all of that. But I did go back to one of the principles I learned back when I was on the ketogenic diet. This was years ago. And it's probably talked about in the carnivore community, but I hadn't heard it for a while. It's something that's, maybe I'm not listening to the right people, but I had to remind myself when it comes to fat, my body has plenty of fat on it to use for fuel. And so I remember when I was doing the ketogenic diet that was one of the principles that I learned is that if you have a lot of excess body fat, you don't necessarily need to eat as much dietary fat. Now, I've been so focused on dietary fat because I've been dealing with constipation. And I wanted to make sure that I was having fairly regular bowel movements. Love to have 3 a week, but that doesn't always happen. But I was having fewer bowel movements, and I was feeling a little pressure to go and wasn't really going. So I was really increasing my fat just to try to get the bowels moving better. And that may have been what kept my body from continuing to draw on its own fat resources. So I have started adding, I've added the magnesium citrate powder, and I found that I did like a whole week just doing 1 dose a day, and that didn't really help. But so I found that I do need 2 doses in order to actually have a bowel movement the next day. And it's gentle. It's not like I'm going to go rushing to the bathroom and I'm not having any diarrhea or loose stool. It is a formed stool. So I had 2 bowel movements, which I count towards last week. I did have one this morning after I weighed myself. So it's kind of tempting to go back and weigh yourself, but I figured, I'm not going to do that. My husband loves to do that. He'll like, oh my gosh, I just had a bowel movement. Let's see how much I weigh now. And then he's like 2 pounds down. Yeah, well, I decided, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stick with the results from this morning before I had a bowel movement. So sorry if this is a lot of poop talk today. But anyways, so I did notice a non-scale victory, and I don't think this is a new one, but sometimes it kind of takes a while for it to kind of dawn on you that oh, wait a minute, that's right. I can do this, and I couldn't do that before. I had kind of an aha moment today about a non-scale victory, and that is that I can take a shower now and get ready without needing to go and recover from the shower. I used to have to go after my shower. Like I couldn't even get dressed. I'd go like with a towel and I'd go crawl into bed and I'd lay there sometimes for an hour to try to recover from just taking a shower. Part of it could be the mast cell activation syndrome. I keep my showers like just warm, barely warm, and I can't do the hot shower. So I don't know if it was the mast cell activation syndrome that was really draining me, or if it was just the morbid obesity. I don't know what it was, but I can take a shower now and then just proceed to get ready, and I don't lie down, and I can just move on and do other things. That is huge, because I was not wanting to shower because it was such a lengthy, drawn out process. Like it was an hour and a half at least between, showering, recovering. By the time I recovered, laying there all the time, my hair was like a matted mess. And I have naturally curly hair. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I kind of blow dried the top a little bit and left the bottom, but I do have naturally curly hair. And so if I just let it dry and like laying down, it's just, anyways. So, okay, that's a vanity thing. But anyways, I was pretty excited. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I can actually go and do things. For exercise, I know one of the things I wanted to figure out is, as we're approaching winter, is what I can do for indoor exercise. And I remembered my daughter has a Nintendo Switch, and then she has Just Dance. It's an older version. It's like a 2021 version of Just Dance. And so we started doing that. And don't tell her, but I created an account for myself on her Switch so that I could just go in and do it by myself, because we were doing it together. I posted a video, I think it was yesterday, because we picked up our half of a lamb. We had ordered half a lamb and quarter of a cow, and the lamb's ready first because it doesn't need to hang. So we went and picked up our half a lamb. At the beginning of my video showing, us going and picking it up, showing you how much we got, I posted a video of my daughter and my husband doing Just Dance, and nobody filmed me. So I don't know, maybe I'll film myself. I am just so uncoordinated. Oh my gosh. Trying to follow those movements is like, it must be laughable. Like, I don't know if you've ever done Just Dance, but you hold the controller in one hand, and I figured out that if all I do, and you can see it kind of mirrors, you've got they call it a coach on the screen, and you can kind of mirror that coach. And so their one hand is kind of lit up. I figured out if I just follow their hand, I can do pretty well. What the rest of my body is doing, I don't know. It's probably an absolute disaster. But I figured, well, I'm just going to practice these songs and see if I can actually get the movements coordinated. It's actually been fun. I was able to do yesterday for maybe about 30 minutes by myself. And of course, it wasn't 30 continuous. It was like, go do one dance, go scroll, pick out another dance. I'm just doing easy ones. I think I sat down one time, maybe two, but I did quite a few, and it was a lot of fun. So I have my daughter here living with us till May when she gets married. So who knows, if we really enjoy it, maybe we'll have to buy one for ourselves. Another thing that I did this week is I joined a book club, online book club. I don't know if you saw my stream. I forgot to even stream it from the beginning to my channel, but we're going over this book, and I don't know if this is going to be reversed for you, but The Obesity Code by Dr. Jason Fung. We've gone through the first 5 chapters. It's very interesting. Really, he's kind of building up the history of the obesity epidemic and all of the thinking behind the different things we've been told about weight loss. And he's bringing in some really interesting and relevant studies to show that thinking didn't play out when you actually tested it out. So far, very interesting. If you want to join in, if you want to read the book and join in or watch or whatever, it's every Sunday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I believe the other ladies are in different time zones from me. I know at least one is on the East Coast. And there's a gentleman that's with us as well. Anyone can join. but it's fun, and it is on the hosted by Nurse Butter. Check out her. She's another nurse like me, but she's still working. I'm not. I'm retired. Anyways, so overall, it was a good week. And, I get this instinct going into things about like, did I lose weight? Did I not lose weight? I knew I lost weight. It was one of those like, yes, I know that I lost weight. So let's just check out the results. All right. So I weighed in this morning. My scale weight had me down 3.4 pounds. So that more than makes up for the gain from the last time. So that was fantastic. If you look at the fat-free body weight, my fat-free body weight went up by 0.8 pounds. So I have a net gain of good tissue of 0.8 pounds. When I look at the breakdown of that, I gained a whole pound of muscle. So I must have lost 0.2 of fluid to make up that 0.8, which I'm not surprised because I feel like my inflammation's gone down. When your inflammation goes down, you're like running to the bathroom, peeing all the time. Yeah, that's what it's been. So I was like, I am losing I'm becoming less inflamed. I can tell. I'm losing some water, and it's not a tremendous amount, obviously 0.2 of a pound. But anyways, I've had people ask me, how do I calculate my actual fat loss? So I can see my actual fat loss was 4.2 pounds. I'm going to try to explain it, and I've been trying to figure out the best way to explain it in a way that would make sense to people. I didn't want to come up with some like algebraic equation because not everybody is good at algebra. I try to think of, well, is there some sort of a visual that I can do? I was thinking of maybe like using my scale and putting little balls that represent fat, little balls that represent like good tissue, muscle, and bone, and pulling some and adding some. Anyways, it stressed me out just thinking about it. So I figured I'm just going to explain it. And I'll put something up here just so that you can see what I'm talking about. But what I do is, in the theory behind it is that you take what you weighed last time you weighed in, and then you look at what you weighed this time. The difference is a combination of your good tissue and your fat, and tissue and water and fat. So you've got these two categories, okay? One may have gone up, the other may have gone down, vice versa. They might have stayed the same. So these are two things that lead to your final scale number. With this body composition scale, the only one they actually give me as data to look at is my fat-free body weight, that bone, tissue, muscle, water, okay? So I know that I gained 0.8. So what I do is I take last week's scale number, so that would be 296.6, and you take your change in the fat-free body weight. So if it goes up, you add it. If it goes down, you subtract it. So I would take the 296.6, I would add my gain in fat-free body weight, which is 0.8. So that comes back. So basically, if I had zero change in my fat, my scale weight would then be 297.4. So I add that. I add the 0.8 to the 296.6, so I get 297.4. So if nothing changed with my fat, but I gained the good tissue, my scale weight would have gone up. All right. So then I use that as my starting point to calculate my actual fat loss. So the difference between that number, the 297.4 and the 293.2, which is my actual scale weight, is my change in the fat. So I kind of just to kind of make it visual and easy, I just kind of like, when I write it out, I leave that part blank so that you can kind of fill in the others, and then you go fit what works in there. So for me, I had to subtract 4.2 pounds to get to 293.2. So I knew I lost 4.2 pounds. If my scale weight was, say, 295, or sorry, 298, I would have to add 0.6 pounds. So I would know that I gained 0.6 pounds in fat. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the way I calculate it. And yeah, I don't know a better way to explain it, but that's basically what I do. Is I just basically figure out, add in the good tissue, see what that brings my weight up to, and then look at the difference between that and my new scale weight, and that's how much fat I either gained or lost. So it's basically algebra. You're filling in the unknown. So I've also had questions asking me about, like, how accurate is this body composition scale? How does it work? And so I don't know if I'm gonna talk about that too much on this video, but as far as accuracy, I mean, it's not as accurate as if you're going to go and do, what do they do? The big, the tank where they submerge you. I don't know what the exact really accurate thing is, but it is accurate. It's a really good, solid estimate. And I know they use these types of scales in bariatric clinics. I used to go to a bariatric clinic. They use these types of scales in the bariatric clinics, and they have the electrodes that you step on, and you have to have bare feet and make sure they're dry, not too wet. But you step on it with bare feet, and it sends this really gentle electric signal through your body. And basically, the signal presents different feedback depending on the type of tissue that it encounters. That's my basic understanding of it. And signals, they go in waves. And so from what I understand, I did a little research into the metabolic age, and the waves kind of crisscross each other, and between each electrode, so like I've got 4 electrodes, 2 on each foot, and the waves come in and they kind of crisscross each other like this, and the angle between those waves, and when they crisscross, it determines the metabolic age. Go figure. So it's like, I guess the angle of my waves need to change in order for my metabolic age to change. It's also based on, based on your basic metabolic rate, which mine is slowly increasing. So the higher your metabolic rate is, the more your metabolic age should be going down. And I think that that's all like a measure based on those waves that go through, and they get the feedback from those waves. It's complicated. I don't want to make it too complicated. But what I have noticed is that I get very, very consistent results. And people have said, well, you can't really rely on these results. I don't really care if the number itself is absolutely the most accurate number. I mean, your body weight fluctuates throughout the day. Everything fluctuates throughout the day. What I'm looking at is it giving me a reliable trend? If I'm not seeing the numbers go up, down, just randomly up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm seeing a really, really reliable trend. And I'm noticing that when I knew this week that I lost weight, and it showed that I lost weight. And a lot of times I'll know that I feel stronger, and it shows that I've gained muscle. So I feel like it's reliable from that point of view, that I feel like the trends are reliable. It's showing me what I want to see. It's helping me understand that I'm not just needing to worry about looking at the scale. Because if you look at my totals, and I'm going to usually go over my totals. So my scale from the beginning, my total loss based on the scale is 46.4 pounds. However, I have gained 18.2 pounds of good tissue. So my actual fat loss is actually 64.6 pounds. So that's fantastic. I couldn't be happier. I was looking at my clothes today, and I don't know what my pant size was before, because I was wearing these 3X sweats all the time and 3X everything. And I know the 3X is like 24 to 26, I think. But I could not fit into my size 24W, which is wide, 24 wide pants. before all this, and like they wouldn't close. They were, I mean, they were tight, tight, tight. I could not wear them. I couldn't even get them buttoned. And I'm very, very comfortably fitting into that size now. My daughter was mentioning the other day that one of my 24 pants is starting to look a little loose. I don't know. It feels fine to me, but I tend to like baggy because it's comfortable. But yeah, I've noticed that a lot of my really like colorful tops that I was wearing at the beginning are just huge on me. Like I'm not even wearing them anymore because they're so huge. So all in all, fantastic. I'm super happy. So I'm preparing for a really great live stream that I'm going to be doing tonight, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, with a really, really intelligent and fascinating young man from Australia. He has an unbelievable story and the most amazing visible results from his change in diet. And I've watched some videos of him. I reached out to him after seeing one of his like short videos and was just so blown away by what his results. And I reached out to him and asked him if he would join me, and he graciously agreed. And I am really looking forward to having a chat with him. I have watched some other interviews he's done, and he's very intelligent. He's been on this diet much longer than me. He is an analytical person. He studies, he researches. I think he's going to be a wealth of information and a really, really interesting conversation because he is bright and he is a student. He makes it known. He is a lifelong learner. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So if you can join us, that is 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time today, Monday. It is November 13th. And tomorrow is my grandson's 10th birthday. So happy birthday, Jimmy. All right. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day and you have an absolutely fantastic week. Bye-bye.